1,500 miles to go across 4 countries. We're going behind what used to be the Iron Curtain.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God. I genuinely can't get out. What do you want me to do?
Be less fat.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to my review for the brand new episode from the Grand Tour, and it is called Eurocrash. This has just started streaming yesterday, I believe, on Amazon Prime, and as usual I was there last night to give it a watch, as I am a huge fan of the Grand Tour. Now, I've pretty much covered every single thing that these guys have done on Amazon Prime. From the first season of the Grand Tour right all the way up to this one now, I've covered every episode, every special, and they're all on the channel. There's a playlist dedicated to the Grand Tour on this channel. So I'm always really excited when a new one of these specials turns up. And I think for the most part, these specials are massively entertaining. There's only been a couple really that have been mildly disappointing, but I've always enjoyed them to varying degrees. And this one, essentially the premise here is, and they explain at the beginning, that they've been to all these different places across the world, and there's very few places they can go to now, because they're either in the middle of war or they've already been there and done that sort of thing. So they wanted to do something different. So they wanted to do like a road trip across Europe with a difference, behind the Iron Curtain sort of thing, in three of the most inappropriate cars imaginable to do, like, you know, a grand tour across Europe on a road trip that no one's ever done before, basically. So they turn up. James has kind of gone and bought a car from the 1940s. That he bought when he was drunk, as he explains at the beginning, which is, you know, the butt of many jokes throughout the episode. Jeremy has kind of bought some weird Asian kit car that you can't even pronounce, and Hammond chose a convertible pickup. Can you think of anything more inappropriate than a convertible pickup? Very odd indeed. So they kind of nailed it really with the most inappropriate cars they could think of for doing this, you know, road trip across, you know, Europe. And as usual, they get up to the very similar shenanigans that we've seen in the past. Detractors of the show will always argue that a lot of this is staged, and obviously some of it is staged. There are a number of things in this episode that you can point your finger at and say, yes, that's obviously been planned. Well, of course it has. If you've seen numerous interviews with, you know, the producers of the show, and even Clarkson, Hammond and May in the past, you know, they've not hidden the fact that, you know, of course a lot of this stuff is planned. You wouldn't just turn up with 3 cars, drive across Europe and hope something interesting is going to happen. They have to pre-plan, you know, some stunts and events and races, all this kind of stuff. And skits, comedy skits. But the charm of these 3 guys has always been their chemistry and the things that don't always go right. So while, yes, there are staged things that happen in this episode, some of them we'll talk about, it doesn't change the fact that they are damn entertaining and very funny for the most part. I found an awful lot of what happened in this episode really funny, because you can see these guys enjoying themselves so much, so it allows you to enjoy it as well. So some of the things they got up to. Okay, well, they went racing in like some old-fashioned racing cars. I don't want to spoil it, but it doesn't go well, not as you would expect, let's be honest. Nothing ever goes well with these 3, does it? They went to visit Jesus, a statue of Jesus, which is, you know, funny. They went to visit the prison camp where the film The Great Escape was kind of based on, this camp, and how the Allied soldiers escaped from there. So that was really interesting. For me, the highlight was probably the Waxwork Museum. They went to a waxwork museum, and it was probably the worst waxwork museum known to man, but it was so bad it was hilariously funny, you know what I mean, from some of the waxworks that they could see in there and they were poking fun at. And this isn't a spoiler because it's shown in the trailer. they basically steal Nigel Mansell's waxwork from this place. Now, obviously, they didn't steal Nigel Mansell. I'm sure they asked permission or paid money or whatever so that they could take the Nigel Mansell waxwork. I'm sure they just didn't steal it and run off. Even they're not that stupid. So there's things like that, and there's other things in the episode, that are clearly staged. But it works, makes it very, very funny. They go on like a course where they've got these archers as well. I mean, they were incredible, these archers. That they kind of stuck targets on the cars, and these archers were dressed in traditional clothing and riding along and shooting arrows at these targets on the cars. That was really good and quite exciting. And there was a brilliant finale as well, where they all had to kind of get on the back of a plane and drive on it. That I thought was really excellent as well, and a really cool way to end the show. They've got the usual backup car that everybody hates. Do they have motoring problems, breakdowns and stuff? Hey, it's the Grand Tour. What do you think? Of course we do. You get all sorts of stuff going off in this episode. I have to say that I think, and I say this every time, I've never really been desperately disappointed with any of these episodes. The last one was the Scandi flick, wasn't it, where they were out in the snow and things like that. That was good. I enjoyed that, but I think I enjoyed this one a little bit more. It was really, really entertaining above all, but also it was really funny. And I always enjoy watching these guys. I'm always worried when one of these specials comes out, and I'm always worried that is that going to be the last one, because you always see these ridiculous social media posts of people saying, oh, there's rumours that the Grand Tour's ended, they're not doing anymore, and then they do another one. So I think as long as these guys keep enjoying doing it, then I think we're going to continue to get a special maybe once or twice a year, and I'm happy with that. I would prefer more, because I just find them so fun and so entertaining, but I'll take these specials. And for those of you who are fans of the Grand Tour, or for those of you who kind of got into Jeremy Clarkson through Clarkson's Farm maybe, start watching the Grand Tour. Honestly, it's fabulous. It's really, really fun and entertaining. You don't have to be a fan of motor cars or anything. I'm not really a car person, a petrol head. I just enjoy watching these guys interact, and the chemistry and the jokes and pranks they pull on each other, and the ridiculousness that they get up to. And I think Eurocrash absolutely delivered. Wonderful stuff. It really, really was the highlight of my Friday night, so to speak. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. Go and check out Eurocrash when you get the opportunity, but don't forget to call back here on the channel for loads more content, as always, very, very soon.